Welcome, traveler. Care to join me for a story?
Hello, and welcome back to A Starbourne Wedding. This is Hit Point Hall. My name is Magpie, and we're about to play some D&D. But first, let's introduce our players.
Hi, I'm Sabrina Samuelson. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm playing the Dowager Countess, Jessamine Ramsbury Larkspur, whose pronouns are also she, her.
Hi, I'm new. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm going to be playing Dors Diamant, whose pronouns are also he, him.
Hi, I'm Percy. My pronouns are she, they, and I'll be playing Herbie, and her pronouns are also she, they.
Hi, my name is Aiden Owen, and I also now have to do a fun voice. And I'm playing Dr. Celislad Fenneman, he, they.
And I am Nick. My pronouns are they, he, and I will be playing Erasmus Nash, whose pronouns are he, him.
So, after arriving on the day before the royal wedding, our party has been witness to some suspicious and strange events. We've been told about the wondrous but faltering Igswood, and an artifact known as the Warden's Diadem, before being ushered to a grand feast where you all finally encountered the Princess Aria Celeste III. Both Herbie and Erasmus passed off some messages, hopefully to be met with some response. And now, courses deep into our meal, we'll pick up as the Duke Silver Celeste interrupts the lulling conversation. The Duke stands, and you see the rest of the partygoers also stand with him, sort of looking alert. He goes, "To our princess," and he raises his glass. And everyone clinks and drinks. And he sets his own glass down in front of the princess. He says, "For you, my dear." To which she responds, "I certainly couldn't, Uncle. I've been more than enough into this feast. I thank you for it, though." And her uncle sits back down. And he says, "My dear niece, is today the day we finally learn of the reason you've been kept within your quarters for so long?" And she laughs and chuckles slightly and says, "It should be none of your concern, Uncle." And there's this pause for a moment where the Duke and the Princess stare at each other for a moment before the Viscountess, Glady's eighth wife, pops in and goes, "The pheasant is certainly lovely, isn't it, everyone?"
Oh, yes, it's lovely.
Quiet.
The chefs really undone themselves this time.
And Herbie, you see Alejandro moving across the side of the table, carrying the message that you've written, and he leaves it with the ambassador. From there, he moves to the other side of the table to the Yonti half-blood royal alchemist, Ventress Spear, and passes them a note as well. And as Alejandro is making his way all the way back around, he picks up a note from the ambassador, Ambrose Maiskier, which he passes back to you.
Physical letters.
Are you going to read it out loud?
No.
For the
Secret.
spell,
Ooh.
Sure.
Sal sees the cup that the princess refuses, and something tingles. And Sal wraps her hand around the staff underneath the table, and dim fluorescent, like hospital light, kind of starts to flood out from underneath the table. And I'm going to cast Detect Poison and Disease.
Sure. What's the range for that?
It is 30 feet of me.
Okay.
I detect the kind of poison, poisonous creature, or disease within each case.
And is it only somatic?
It's verbal, somatic, and material.
Incredible. All right. So, what do you say as you cast this spell?
I think I make a big show of coughing. Like, I just like, ooh, these old bones of mine, my lungs.
Some water?
No, yes, actually, I would love some. Just so much object work from Sal.
Oh dear, I fear our aging Dr. Sal is having a sort of episode. Pay no attention.
Yes, my medication.
All right, Sal, I would love a performance check from you.
And you know that's what Sal's good at with a +0.
Perform.
Perform. Over the teeth, over the gums. Watch out, Sal. Here it comes.
Yeah. Oh, lovely.
That's a natural 1. my good
Incredible.
DM. That's a natural 1.
So, as you raise your glass, attempting to murmur words just as your lips are like touching the liquid, you find yourself partially echoing into the cup your spell, oh, brook it, and then a little bit just goes into your mouth, goes down the wrong pipe. You take 2 points of
Water
blood.
damage?
Yeah.
It's the
Cold?
That's the first damage of our campaign.
Cold damage, I think.
It's from me rolling a nat 1 on a performance.
Incredible. And you do not cast the spell, but a lot of the partygoers, lords and ladies, gentry, look to you with concern. And the Viscountess speaks. She goes, Doctor, are you feeling well?
Yes, I'm fine. Just my pride is wounded.
I hope you haven't caught that heart condition from your associate, the Dawes?
I've been meaning to dispel. I've heard some people talking about my heart condition. It is not contagious. It's purely hereditary.
Purely fatal.
Well, time will tell.
A strange thing to say at a dinner to your friend, Jessamine.
Well,
Strange thing to not go to a doctor about.
The princess had more words, I assume, for us.
The princess sort of looks up at this, and I'd like each of you to make a perception check for me.
All?
Yes.
I rely on my passive.
You can if you roll lower than your passive.
Sorry.
17.
19 passive.
17.
What is perception?
Mhm.
18.
13.
Incredible. So, all of you see this except for Jessamine. So, as Sal is coughing, chucking up water, and this large crowd of table-goers, party-goers, are all leaning in towards you, you see that the princess has taken the moment to sort of nudge her betrothed, whisper something in his ear. And as the attention is turned back to her, you see the ambassador knocks over a goblet and he goes, "Oh, my bad. My clothes, they're stained and ruined now. I need to go change." And the princess goes, "Oh, I'll go help you with that, dear." And the two begin to rise and make a bit of an exit.
That was suspicious.
Over Alejandro.
Sure, Alejandro goes,
What can I do for you, Miss Advisor Diamond?
favorite character.
What are you laughing about?
It's a funny joke I heard. Can you go and make sure that the dear ambassador is clean and just keep a good eye on them?
Right, sure. I had a bit of a message to pass, but you can pass this on to the guy with the big ears, right?
Oh, are you talking about our dear Erasmus?
Yeah, the bastard.
Friar.
Oh, right. We pronounce it differently. All right. Well, I'm going to go, and I'm just going to let you look at this because Nick is all the way on the other side of the table.
Thank you very much.
Alejandro,
Oh, right, here.
take my pet Annie with you. She needs the air.
All right, this is a snake with two heads.
Yes, it is. Just wrap it on like an ascot, maybe. Yes. He's very friendly.
Okay.
Very long snake. Very, very long snake.
You'd think a fellow with big ears, they'd be referring to Herbie.
Right?
It's a lady with big ears. And then he sort of takes a side servant's exit.
Also,
and
Alejandro, make sure you take a young lady with you. We don't want the princesses. Well, we don't want any love wiles to come in the way.
Right. Is Annie a lady?
Yes.
All right. And he runs out the servant's note. Doris, what do you do with this little note?
I see the note and I read it quietly to myself, but out loud. Should I read it out loud?
If you want to. Don't read the crossed out parts.
Yes. I see that there's a note here that says, "Meet me tomorrow." And it is marked with a single letter, which is V.
Interesting.
And I make a mental note.
You gonna give it to me? You gonna give it to me?
I'm going to take some time to study the handwriting.
Okay.
But I think I will hand it off to Erasmus.
Okay. How long do you spend studying this handwriting?
I feel like that should be something I'm pretty good at doing, right? This feels like along the lines. Should I make a check for this? I don't know what this would be.
Tell me.
I'd say like I probably do it like just like keep looking at it as people are talking.
Sure. And how long are you looking at it for?
I don't know, a minute.
Okay, a minute.
Well, like I feel like I can. Is this gonna take up all my time, or can I like talk?
If you want to try and do it in a minute, you can do it in a minute. You,
A challenge.
Give me a.
Okay, how about can I give myself 5 minutes and like be able to be split-minded about it and not put all my focus into it?
Sure, if you roll well.
If I roll well first. What would this be?
I think this is going to be. I think to memorize the handwriting, I am going to want just an investigation check, and then if you succeed on that, a check to learn how to duplicate the writing. So roll
fair.
just investigation for me first.
Can I rely on my thing if I roll lower? Because I have a passive investigation.
I will say no in this instance.
That's fair. That's fair.
And while this is happening, I'm gonna go into.
That's fine because it was better. This is investigation, right?
Yes.
22.
Incredible. Yes. The handwriting is inscribed into your memory.
Okay.
It is blocky letters. It looks like someone who wasn't brought up knowing how to write or only recently learned how to write.
Yeah, definitely it's the handwriting of an illiterate.
No.
All right. Now give me I think, you give me just dexterity, I think, to learn
Dexterity?
how to reproduce it.
So can this be sleight of hand?
Asking a lot.
I will say no.
Damn. Just a raw dexterity?
Yes.
Okay. I don't have bad dexterity. Ah! It literally fell off another dice. It was a 20 for a second. That's a 9.
You unfortunately do not possess the capabilities of reproducing it, but if you saw this handwriting somewhere else, you would be able to pick it out of a line.
All right. Yeah. I'm just too, that calligraphy style is just too hammered into
I'm
me.
coughing all over the letter as you're trying to.
I think you guys see me like on a napkin trying to do like the letter form.
Oh, can I use that? Thank you.
Yeah. I was trying.
Here, to give it back.
All right, and do you hand it to Erasmus after?
And then I hand it to Erasmus.
We're all sitting next to each other, right?
Yeah.
Yes, you are all sitting next
across from each other, yeah.
Would Erasmus have heard Alejandro go, "Can you give this to the master?"
He absolutely would have.
Yeah.
Don't mind what he said. He's just a servant. They love to have these little dramas to make their lives more interesting.
Right, of course. Well, he did what I wanted him to do. Listen, was that exit suspicious to any of you?
Oh, I'm on it. I'm following them through Annie right now.
You're going snake mode.
Going snake mode, as we in the business call it.
I, of course, don't know what you're talking about, Friar, considering
Right.
our company is so elated and so proper.
Well, find familiar is a very basic spell, Jessamine. I thought you would have learned that in school, perhaps.
Well, only someone needs Only someone with magic casting at a lower level needs help.
I'm going to scream out loud.
Aiden, does Sal break out of the trance to hear and respond to Jessamine?
I think he is. They're so petty. Of course they would. Of course they would. I would. And so would they.
Wisdom check to see if you're smart enough to
If I can resist the temptation. Charisma saving throw.
So, as you briefly pop into Annie's consciousness, who is just wrapped so many times around Alejandro's neck, you see you see the behinds, to put it politely, of the princess and her fiancé. They're walking. You see they're very close to each other, arms linked at the elbows. They look to be almost whispering, perhaps sweet nothings in each other's ear. Alejandro steps forth, and just as he goes, Your Highness, are you all right? That's when you snap back to comment at Jessamine. You are able to go back into.
Immediately go back in. As soon as I like get out of it, I'm like, oh wait.
And you see the princess going, simply all right, thank you. By any chance, does your snake have two heads? And Alejandro goes, I don't know nothing about that, but I just wanted to say I hope you're doing well, and I'm really excited for your wedding tomorrow. And the princess goes, oh, yes, and you see the ambassador interrupts. He goes, after the wedding, everything will change. For good, you understand, I say.
Super evil, yeah. Immediately evil stuff. Keep going.
I really appreciate your help, Alejandro. But we simply must be going back to our quarters. Silk will stain, you see. And he goes, right, of course, ma'am. And the two turn and begin to head off.
All right, we need to stop choking that poor boy.
And I snap Annie back to my side.
What did you say? What did you say?
Nothing alarming, but Ambrose did mention that after the wedding, everything will change. And then they paused, like really suspiciously, and then they said, for good, for good.
I slide a sheet of paper over to Dr. Sal, and it says, perhaps let's not discuss this out loud.
I mean, just the ramblings of an old coot. Yes.
Looking frequently at our message.
I do not use the bracelet. I just message you directly.
No, this is what you meant, right?
Yes.
Yes, Ambrose says after the wedding everything will change. I don't know what that means, but I suggest we keep our heads low and stay out of it.
I use my Kalistar ability to mind link directly with you, giving you the action to talk back to me, and I say, it is a bit suspicious that you and our dear friend, the advisor, are just pointing at each other completely silently, like every 6 seconds.
Fair. Let me point to multiple people to kind of make it seem like it's an average thing I do. And then I start pointing around the tables, kind of like,
Alazar.
And then I go back and say, all right, coast is clear. Yeah, I think we just keep our heads down and don't think about it, because we don't want to get involved in anything. It's over our heads.
You say that to all of us?
Yeah.
Individually message.
Here's the thing. If enough of us have message, we can just kind of loop it around.
Yeah, I think we're all
Relay.
able
Right.
to just parlay with all of each other.
Erasmus responds back and says, if there's something going on in this court, I'm going to find out what it is.
All right, you can, but I'm gonna enjoy my salmon, if that's fine with you.
You can enjoy your salmon and help me out. For an old friend.
Fine, as long as it's not anything crazy, then I'll do what I can. Now, I'm going back to the salmon. The roast asparagus is lovely. And I just go back out of it.
Erasmus now messages Jessamine and says, are you still as good of a wizard as you were when we were in school?
Take it away from Sal, give it to you. So I don't have to message. And I say, are you implying that I've lost my abilities?
Not lost, but perhaps changed. Good to know that it's for the better. If that's the case, I have something I may need to ask for you.
Of course.
Can you come to my chambers later tonight?
Anything for an old friend.
Erasmus nods. And then He like looks kind of pensively, and then he turns to Sal, and he says out loud now. So your work at the hospital? What is it that you do?
Oh, I'm an orthodontist.
Orthodontist?
It's a very, it's a full monologue, like very complex.
I thought you were an orthopedic surgeon.
Well, I do a lot of things. I've got a side hustle, that's the orthodontistry, and then my full job at Starbourne is an orthopedic surgeon.
Right. So you would say you have experience like working on, head injuries?
A lot of experience, yes.
Interesting.
I have a lot of experience with most medicine. I can do pretty much anything you need me to do.
Perfect.
Have you gotten hurt recently?
No, not me. I'm all right. It's just, and then Erasmus messages Sal, and it's like, come to my room later tonight.
When? I mean, later? That's so vague. Like, 9? What do you mean?
9 and 10 p.m., the evening time.
Evening is a multiple. Fine. I'll at some point,
When
I'll
it's
come.
least suspicious.
What is there? Have you tried the veal?
The veal was okay.
The
I've had
really?
better in the Barrens, yes.
No, it's fair. Veal's always better outside of the Barrens.
And then, go ahead.
There you go. You were talking. Doris is going to point over at Herbie and message Herbie. Dear, I hope you haven't been shaken up. Some interesting events have transpired, and I'm sure with these allegations, according to Sal, your adventurer senses must be peaking.
Oh, well, I'm of course always interested in adventure, but I can't say that I'm particularly overwhelmed by anything specifically. Why? Should I be?
No, I'm just curious what you think of the matter.
Well, I want the princess to be all right, and I want all of the citizens here to be fine and dandy as per usual, but I will say that things did seem awfully strange. Of course, I'm not trying to stick my nose where it doesn't belong, but if it happens to end up there, well, it happens to end up there.
And as you were speaking, you begin to see servants coming into the room, taking away your empty plates, and bringing in plates and plates of dessert, little dishes of fruit tarts, with at least like 3 being placed on a plate before each of you. And you can see everyone looking towards the high priest at the side of the head of the table as the highest ranking person there, as for a cue to dig in. It looks amazing and fresh. And instead of eating, the elf simply stands up, folds his napkin, places it back down, and says, "As we all know, the greatest sin that we ever may commit could perhaps be that of indulgence. And as that is the case within this circumstance, I suppose that we shall call this meal to an end." And he gestures to the servants. He says, "Take it away, all of it." And he turns back to the table. He says, "We will join tomorrow in joyous reverence for the coronation of our divinity. See that you sleep well and be there." And in a moment of strange brevity, he cuts himself short and begins to leave. And the servants all come back and begin picking up all these plates of fruit tarts untouched. Yes?
Can I try and pickpocket one for Herbie?
Can I also try to pickpocket one for myself?
Absolutely. Both of you go ahead, roll me sleight of hand.
It's gotta be good. You got a nat 20 last time.
Yeah.
You gotta keep it
For
going.
the delicious, Mama needs some wonderful baked goods.
Ooh,
from
no.
some whimsical
That's
delights.
the slogan of Hit Point Hall.
Oh,
What'd you get?
16.
Oh, okay. I was on a roller coaster there.
I got a 15.
Okay. You got 16?
Got 16.
Incredible. Both of you manage just to snag in the times when servants are passing off trays to each other, just to grab a little one, just as no one's exactly keeping an eye on it.
Could I stop one of the servants?
Sure.
This is Now, I know we all heard the high priest, but I believe it may not be too improper to leave a few of these dishes at the rooms, the doors of everyone here, and to just simply leave a knock. It's not indulgence if it's just simply offered before us. So if you and pass this along to all the other servants, could do this on behest of Duke Silver.
Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check. You can have advantage for name dropping.
And since I'm a face who has worked with Duke, so
Yes.
I feel like people would trust my word.
It makes sense. Yeah, you're evoking status here, basically.
Let me do a cup one.
Yeah.
Cup one. Cup.
That's persuasion, right?
Yes.
That is a 21.
Incredible.
Goods.
You see the servant sort of go a bit pale as you ask her to immediately defy what the high priest has said, but you name drop the Duke and you say, at his behest. And she goes, of course, sir. Is there anything else you'd like?
Obviously, skip out the high priest's room.
Of course, yes, already done. And she goes out and
Don't forget dear Azaria Fable, the first acolyte.
don't forget her or do forget her.
Do not forget her.
Of course. Is there a message you'd like us to pass along?
But just make sure she knows who this came from.
Yourself or the Duke?
The Duke.
Of course, yes.
I'm getting confused all over the lines.
Of course.
It's Doors, not Duke. The D names tends to forget. People get confused.
So it's from doors.
It's from the Duke.
Of course. And she heads out. And the partygoers stand up and reluctantly begin to leave. What do the five of you do?
Back to the room. It's past 7 o'clock. It's Sal's bedtime. But I'm holding up for Nick for Erasmus's message in case they need something from me.
I would like to be in my chambers with my servant, Nicolette, and I would like to tell her, you know, my dearest, I would not dare go against the wishes of our high priest by asking for an indulgent meal to be delivered as soon as possible to the great bard Herbie.
Of course not, ma'am.
Of course not. But such a meal to go to waste, I think that is a sin when so many are hungry.
Of course.
And I know for a fact that the great bard has an insatiable appetite, especially for sweets.
Yes.
So, if you could arrange something with the kitchens?
Yes, of course. I'm sure I can work something out.
Yes, perfect. Also, do you know which room the friar is staying in?
Yes, I can call someone to show you to the guest quarters.
Oh, no, just show it to me on this map.
Okay.
Out of my game pouch, I unroll the map of the area.
Yeah, you pull out your map of the entire castle, and she shows it to you. And she hurries off to bring some more tarts to Herbie. Herbie now is getting 2 tarts outside her door. But the interesting thing is, as you leave, sort of as you enter for the first time and exit your sort of living quarters and go to the sort of more like a tea room, a place for entertaining guests, which you don't walk through directly when you enter, you see bags, a lot of bags, and they look to actually be familiar bags. The bags of your supposed guests, they look to have been wrongly placed here in your own quarters rather than in the guest quarters. And the 3 of you will find, as you are led by servants from the dinner to your guest quarters, completely empty and barren of your possessions.
Where are my spoons?
It's a bag full of scrubs. I don't know what to do without my bag full of scrubs.
No, my things should be here, in my room. Where? This is unacceptable. The palace has misplaced my bags. And can I? Are there any servants nearby?
Yes, there's a lot nearby, and as you're saying this, a lot of them are like looking away from you. And
You
sort of
come
looking
here
back.
now.
Of course, sir. What may I do for you?
My luggage, the things that I brought with me. It was only a few things, several bags. They're leather. They've got this mark on them.
What's your name, sir?
Friar Erasmus Nash.
Yes.
And they scurry off to a sort of like long scroll hanging besides the hallway of guest quarters.
Guest of Advisor Doors Diamet and
Yes.
I believe the bags were taken to the Dowager Countess's room.
All right. Okay.
I'll go get them. I don't mind.
It's okay. I can go along.
Are you sure? There might be, a lot of stuff for just one person.
If you'd like us to come with, we can.
Right. We'll all go then.
All right.
I never should have left it with them.
And Erasmus, the servant offered, he goes, I can show you where things are, but you know this palace. You are more than familiar with this palace. You grew up in this palace.
Erasmus pushes past the servant, leading Sal and Turby and.
Oh, slow down, hold on. Ooh.
And very quickly, you find yourself in front of Jessamine door, which opens, and you see Nicolette rush out, almost bump into you. Excuse me, and she runs off past.
Are we here?
Yes.
Get in the door, knock on it.
Yep, you knock on it. Jessamine, you hear a knock.
Hello, dearest friend. Tell me why you asked for your bags to be delivered to my room.
We didn't. It just
I assure you, no.
it happened.
Not us.
Well, somebody wanted you to carry your own bags, so I just sent out Nicolette to get more servants to carry your bags.
Oh, that's all right.
I can get mine. Erasmus starts to move
Move
towards
past
the
her.
bags.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna
My
go.
dear Erasmus, you were once a duke. You shall not hold your own bag.
No, it's all right. Please, I've gotten accustomed to it in my time away. And Erasmus goes and I think he probably has one sort of duffel bag with his clothing and things. But the first bag he grabs is, of course, this round, worn leather bag. He grabs it and kind of turning away from the others, opens it to check inside. As sneakily as he can.
Mm-hmm.
But also, he's panicked.
Mm-hmm. So you're trying to hide this
Yeah.
from the rest of the party. Give me a deception check.
Okay. What is my deception? It's not that good. I don't lie a lot.
It's a 0.
Yeah, okay. Okay, 15 on the die.
Okay. What are people's passive insights?
15.
Passive insight?
Insight?
Oh,
Oh,
inside.
yes, you're not here.
17.
13.
My passive
No,
insight's
not
so
good.
high, I just see it all, even I'm not in my room.
So,
I need to put that.
Kirby, Jessamine, a little elated at seeing each other. It's a bit like a sleepover. Sal, you do notice Erasmus looking into multiple of his bags. Seems to be looking for something specific, and he peeks inside, and his panic expression just fades, and you see a relaxing sigh move over him. It's very obvious that there's something very important in this bag.
Not my circus. I get my bag and I look. Jessamine, I trust you'll be having a good evening, considering you can enjoy it now that the sun is down and you won't burn if you go outside. The rest of you, a good night. And Sal moves to the door and leaves.
Kirby?
You two. Don't make me separate y'all.
I'm already walking away.
Oh, goodness.
Wait, Sal, can you just stay for a second?
Just make it quick, all right? I need to sleep.
Okay.
Should we retire to the drawing room rather than the tea room?
When?
How many rooms this place has?
Yes.
My
My
goodness.
quarters has 17 rooms. What
Goodness
for?
gracious.
Are you doing 17 different things in there? Just say it in the tea room.
17's a standard for palace.
What?
It
That
needs
seems-
to be a prime number.
It needs to
Why?
be a prime number. That seems so indulgent.
Just
but
tell us in the tea room, please. The salmon's moving right through me.
Please, can we go to? We can go to the drawing room.
Fine.
We walk into Jessamine's drawing room, which is obviously very luxurious, but also like she does not come in here often. Like the couches are very new. Barely anyone has sat in them.
As this is happening, doors, in your own quarters, you hear a flurry, rush knock at your door.
Does it seem like a panicked thing, or what's going on here?
It seems less panicked, more out of breath, more rushed.
I look through the peephole.
You see Nicolette, your paid spy who works in Jessamine's employ.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay.
And she's holding 2 tarts in her hands.
I
for
open the door.
me.
She's a little out of breath. She looks like she's been running all over the place. She's
Betrayal.
got a bag in her elbow, 2 tarts in hand.
All right.
Yes, just your friends, they're all meeting in Jessamine's quarters. I thought you wanted to know. I don't know if they're purposefully excluding you, but your friends are all hanging out without you.
Dear God, this is just like 8th grade. Huh. Thank you for letting me know.
You're welcome, sir. Would you like me to say I ran into you on the way?
No.
Okay.
Did you have another job to do?
Yes. Tots.
Take care of that first.
Very well.
And she begins to run off, tarts in hand.
My tarts.
I make my way over. And I'm going to. I'm thinking if I want to do something before I go, but no, I'm just gonna go over.
Okay.
I'm actually going to stand by the door for a little bit. And wait for a good moment to come in. So.
Yeah. So just as you're talking, you're knock, 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 knock. A flurry of rushes. Door opens. You see Nicolette, hair a mess. There's some like mud on her dress. She's holding 2 pastries and she's got a bag under her elbow.
What the tots?
She hands them both off.
These are for you, ma'am.
They're for me?
Yes. At the behest of the Dowager Countess Jessamine Ramsbury Larkspur.
Oh, Jessa, you shouldn't have.
Well, I know how much you like tarts.
I think Herbie likes the speed more of eating them so quickly. I don't know if it's a taste thing more than an experience.
They're wonderful.
All right, Erasmus, what did you have to say?
All right.
Really
Okay.
fast before this continues, would you like the advisor to be here for this?
I
know that he has a great valuable insights for this, and even though I know you are not particularly close to him, he is still a useful person in the palace to be friends with.
Useful. What do you mean by that?
Well, he's very knowledgeable about things that perhaps he should not know, but
Interesting. All right, Chester. You know him best, so tell me, how loyal is Doors to the crown?
to the crown, Doors' only loyalty is to himself. He relies on the crown to gain power. I remember there was a rumor about me in school that was, I will do anything to gain power. But in reality, that applies to Doors.
I think this is the moment when Doors enters.
Yeah. You have been waiting outside and you've heard all of this.
Yeah. And I enter in angrily. And I enter in pointing at Erasmus.
Good, you heard everything I said. I would say
No,
to
no,
your
no.
face, I have.
I had just entered in, and I meant to. I'm sorry, let me try that again. Erasmus, I've been tracking you down.
What?
I hope you have to. I hope I don't have to remind you what Duke Silver had me do. I am to be by your side wherever you walk.
Oh, Right, of course.
I arrived at your room to find it vacant.
Apologies.
And now I see everyone here gathering.
Well, my baggage was moved here. We came to retrieve it.
Doors, you have eyes. You can see that the baggage was placed in the wrong spot.
I understand. But Erasmus, you know what you were told.
Of course.
And you know, it is but a simple mistake. I just want to make sure you weren't going to end up in a position that you weren't going to be able to walk out of. I'm not here to hound you. I'm here as a protection for you.
I don't need protecting from the Duke. The Duke is being protected by you. So, listen, I appreciate you keeping us apart. But just know it's not for me. Doors, you know, it's good you arrived here now. All right. There's something I need to show all of you.
Yes, please, enough with the melodrama.
All right. Erasmus opens the bag, and from it, he pulls forth the brazen head. And the brazen head is like a skull-like visage, a kind of sallow face made of this coppery bronze, but with age now, it's almost what's the word when copper
Oxidized.
goes? Yeah, oxidized.
Immediately knew he was.
Yeah, almost like maybe there's even like lichens on part of it that have been scraped off, but they still keep spreading. And it has almost like a puppet's jaw that is still a little slack. And as he pulls it up, like the jaw clacks, and you see one of the eyes from the dented head has like gone slack and sort of flutters open like a broken doll's eye. And he holds it out and he says, "Some of you may have heard of this. This is a project of my mother's, the brazen head. It was her gift to the court before she was exiled. And I need your help to fix it. Because if I can fix this, then maybe I can take my place in the court back, the place that I deserve, to be clear."
Royal alchemist, or?
Yes.
All right, listen, some of us
My
aren't as
mother's
quick.
position.
Yes, it's your mother's position, yes.
Yes.
All right.
And you said you're a doctor. You fix heads or orthodontistry.
Orthodontistry, famously.
Pediatrics.
So, I don't know if you understood, this is a head of metal, and I'm a doctor of flesh.
Right, but it's magical.
Have you ever worked on a warforged?
I actually have I, DM? That's a good question for you.
Warforged
How
exist?
rare are warforged?
You have perhaps heard of it once or twice, a warforge being operated on in Starbourne Medical, but you yourself never have had the opportunity. The people of Starbourne are mostly humanoids.
I know basic general information, but I've never done actual practical work. I've never done applied surgery.
Well,
I can do some basic magical diagnosis, but this would require powerful artificery or something. Just give me time to look at it, and
right.
don't expect too much.
Well, maybe Jessamine can.
So I would like to clarify. You've brought a head into my chambers from your mother, who is banished and reportedly, rumoredly, has spread a drought upon this kingdom.
I mean,
Jessamine, we all know that is not the worst
Jessamine.
thing you brought. Jessamine.
As you ask that question, you see the head begins to move, the jaw begins to move, and it goes,
Time
It talks.
was.
It talks.
and as we all hear this resounding echo crashing against the walls of this tiny tea room, with all 5 of you gathered once again in this room, that is where we're going to take our break for today.
Oh, God. Freaky, deaky.
So we are going to pick back up as you hear this horrible grating, raspy noise echoing off of the walls of Jasmine's chambers. Erasmus, you can fix this with the assistance of one of your other party members. Who do you choose?
I step back away.
All right, okay, yes. Sometimes it speaks, but it can only say 3 useless things now, so...
We'll fix it, and then we'll go from there, all right?
You want to? You ready?
Yes, I will help you out in any way I can. I'm going to put my staff on you. Fluorescent hospital light fills the room. I cast guidance on you, so you get a D4 for this roll.
Okay.
Ooh.
Sal, you want to use medicine for this?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, just roll me a medicine check.
Could you also?
Yeah, can I do Bardic
you wanna
Inspiration guidance?
Yes, you
I'm
can.
going to take the guidance because I thought you
How-
were rolling.
Herbie,
Can I?
how do you inspire Sal?
I would like to sing you one of my favorite songs. Do your ears hang low? Do they wobble to and fro? Can you tie 'em in a knot? Can you tie 'em in a bow? Do you throw 'em over your shoulder?
During
like
a
continental
tense
soldier?
medical scene.
Hang low. Go for it.
All right. It's a D8.
I use
Yes.
Master of Tactics to give them a bonus. Not bonus, help action.
I will say no, because this is not any sort of tactic you would be familiar with.
Can I
Look, staying
use,
cool under pressure.
Can I use the light cantrip to kind of provide like a surgery light on the head?
There are absolutely already hospital lights glowing in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I want to feel useful.
Not with a cantrip.
All right.
All right, you know, I've tried going in this way. And
All right. Scalpel. I'm gonna roll the D20 first, then roll it by D8, D4. Okay. So D20 first. I have a +7 to medicine.
Not 20, not 20, not 20, not 20.
11.
Okay, that's 18.
D8. It's a 7 from the D8.
I will tell you, you need to beat a 20.
Oh, listen, that's a 3, 10, 21. That's a 28 medicine check for the head.
Incredible.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much.
All right, Erasmus, about half of it is finished, and with Sal's help, you think you can figure out where some of these circuits are connecting to alchemical lines. What check would you like to make?
okay,
You can do Arcana, or you can do Nature.
Ooh, Arcana's better for me, and I think that makes the most sense for this. Like Erasmus takes the head and sees like maybe some parts of it start to move, and Erasmus is like, okay, perfect.
And I'm gonna hit you with more hospital light. You have enhance ability. Fox's cunning. You have advantage on intelligence checks.
Okay, advantage.
Yep. So you roll twice.
Okay.
You got this.
Here we go. Wait, that didn't.
Oh, yeah.
That didn't count. That fell out of my hand. We're doing
Cup,
it.
cup.
They're both not great.
Wow.
But okay, wait. Hold your applause.
We should have
Okay.
inspired you again.
I know. Okay. That is an 11.
Not a
It's
28.
not the worst you can get.
The head doesn't get completely fixed. It doesn't destroy itself either. It's actually worse.
That was an option.
It stays exactly the same. It will only give you 3 answers. And the two of you work on this with Herbie's inspiration for the rest of the night. But you cannot eke out any more than time was, time is, and time will be.
All right, I'll keep working, but I need time. It's structured mechanically like a Wanti, but in terms of organic, there's a lot here.
We don't have time. We don't have any more time.
Well, right now, time is and time was, so.
Well, okay, once you start.
You work late into the night, but there is no more time left. All of you wake the next morning to Nicola knocking on the door.
Nicolette?
Nicolette.
Okay.
Nicolette knocking on the door. She peeks in. She says, it's time for the wedding.
Shall I escort you?
Thank you for waking us up at 6 a.m. for us to get ready.
Yes, none
I
of us were
appreciate
awake,
it.
and we all slept over in the same room. Yes, let's get ready.
Yeah. Popping
Very
out of
well
my
then.
shell.
And so you don your attire, and we move now back to the Great Hall, where yesterday you saw a great eagswood tree fall and break. But now you see a room filled with pastel ribbons and flower wreaths. Partygoers are milling about tables piled with pitchers of mulled wine and plates of sugared pastries. You can see the high priest, the duke, and the viscountess, along with many other lords and ladies, members of the gentry. The princess and her fiancé are absent, but in this precursor to the wedding that is traditional and not as strange as their prior absences. Near the doorway where you have all entered, there is one table, absent of treats, stacked with beautifully wrapped presents. Which reminds me, what did each of you bring as a gift to this wedding?
Sal finds a camera and looks into it like Home Alone, just. Sal did not.
Well, this is very relevant. Erasmus's gift is the head. And maybe this morning Erasmus finds like a nice cloth to wrap it in, sort of almost mournfully, like.
Bow.
gotta look
Bag with a
nice,
head in
okay? I'm
it
gonna
is what
figure
your
it
gift
out.
is.
Still one of
Okay.
kisses
Can you
sheets.
think of a more fanciful way to wrap a head?
Cave?
I mean, I
better
can
than
at
a
least
cave.
five.
And I guess as we see like this stack, and Sal has that reaction, Erasmus is like, "You don't have a gift for the nuptial."
I can come up with something. Just
Since you helped me work on the head, I mean, all of you did. It could be part your gift.
oh, great. Part of my gift is a severed head. That'll be good optics. Yeah.
It was one of the court's relics.
All right, fine. I'll go in halvesies, but I won't feel good about it till the record show.
Herbie?
Herbie is going to place down like a little book of songs that she's written with like a little note inside that says like, I will be happy to perform at any event in the future.
Standing invitation.
That's nice. I have what's a sort of stuffed bullet toy that is a perfect recreation of one that she had as a child, with the tag to give to your own.
Dude.
Jessamine is extra.
It's a framed
So-
picture of Jessamine, the Dowager Countess.
She snaps her fingers, and in walks in 5 people, each holding presents.
Oh my
And, so, in most of them are gorgeous dresses to wear on the honeymoon. Jessamine knows that, like, it's a very important thing to feel confident on your honeymoon. She has a very personal handwritten letter about what her own wedding was like to her dear departed husband and about everything that they did together, minus, you know, the stuff that is not appropriate for a young lady to have written in her letter. And then also, I think that in 2 of them are just stacks and stacks of books with another thing that Jessamine has been working for the last couple months for, and that is getting a local library built for the impoverished people of this town in the name of our dear princess.
Incredible.
I have a heart.
Herbie's all about that. She's like, yes, library.
Very notable of you, Jessamine.
So,
It was nothing, really, just,
All
you
right,
know.
you've got a win from me. Don't lose it. Leave it there.
Doors. As you are leaving your gift, you notice the groundskeeper, Russet Clupidai, lurking in one of the darker corners of the Great Hall. His eyes keep on flickering back to you, then away, then back to you. He looks like he's awaiting something.
I make a brief eye contact with him, and I turn over to Herbie. And I think we're all close to each other, right? I lean over to Herbie and say, it appears the the groundskeeper wants me. You spoke with him, yes?
I did.
I suppose I'm not quite a man of the earth. Would you mind accompanying me?
That'd be my pleasure.
Yeah. I walk over. Herbie hopefully following.
I'm following.
All right. You see this bugbear. His fur looks even more unkempt than yesterday. He looks perhaps like he didn't sleep well. And he looks at Herbie for a moment before looking back to you. He says, I spoke to the chef.
Ah. Well, first off, I'd like to say that you look wonderful today. I trust it was a illuminating conversation.
So you were with him then, in this?
Yes, I am. Herbie, I suppose it's as good a time as ever to bring you in on some plans of mine.
What plans?
Russet, would you mind echoing what you've heard?
Your friend here plans to plant the seeds of chaos on our princess's wedding day.
Doors? What is he implying?
Russet, that is much more creative language than I thought you could be capable of.
It is the language that your go-between man, your chef, has stated himself.
Can I look at Russet. I see his unhappy state. Does it seem that he's not on board or that he's putting up a face?
Give me an insight check.
I would love to.
Kirby, would you want as well?
I wanna.
Go ahead and make an insight check.
Suss
for me.
out some of these vibes.
Suss out these vibes.
I'm gonna suss out these vibes.
Make a sus check.
Can I make a vibe check?
Yeah.
Am I doing insight?
Yes.
Okay.
My insight, the one I rolled is the same as my passive. Or actually, it's actually better. So 19.
Okay.
22.
He seems to be very afraid, very worried, and it almost makes you, because he doesn't seem like someone who's necessarily loyal to the monarchy, loyal to the government system itself, but you know he has a bit of a fondness for the princess and for his plants. You both see a man who is afraid of something, of a prospect that has been told to him that seems very dangerous and uncertain.
I see trepidation in your eyes, and I'd like to illuminate in what I see your role could be in this. Now, I don't think you're some information agent, someone who's going to spread the word here. In fact, actually, that's why I wanted to speak with you, Herbie. But, Russet, you know this castle more than anyone else here, and I know your fondness for the princess. And I have to say, for all the people that I've spoken with and all the things that I have learned, I have to say I've gained a fondness for the princess myself. So, I think you would be the perfect person to find her a safe place in case things become violent in the weeks to come.
You see he laughs a little at that, kind of just a sharp bark. You would willingly put her in danger, then make a mockery of me to ask that I keep her safe. You invite a war into our kingdom.
I invite truth for the people. That is all. What the people decide to do with that truth is up to them.
Your truth comes in the form of enemy soldiers encroaching on a wedding. Hired hands, mercenaries. Today.
Doris, is that true?
Is
Yours-
that true?
You
This sounds different from what I remember this
You
to be.
haven't talked with the chef about any of this.
I think for the first time, I think especially Herbie, you see doors is out of his element. That is not the plans. No. All I needed from you, Herbie, was a voice. The people hear your songs, they listen to you, and I just needed the information to be known. I'm sorry. Hired hands, mercenaries.
Russet leans over to you. He says, "Do not trust him. He is the king of whispers. He is not your friend." And with that, we are going to cut over to Erasmus, where you can see across the hall a Yanti half-blood, the royal alchemist, looking towards you.
Erasmus steals away from standing by the gift display, and he hasn't put down the head yet. I think he still has it. It's not out, but
Operating
it's
like a
inside.
baby.
Nice to see you.
Head baby Bjorn.
Out. No, and spotting Ventress, Erasmus tries to slip over to them. I guess I'm not sure where Sal and Jessamine are, but if they're nearby, I think Erasmus is trying to do this. Like, he's trying to slip away, he's just trying to be casual, but not necessarily broadcast, but he's going to go talk to Ventress.
Cool. Ventress is looking at you with an interesting expression in their eyes. And they say, "You sent me a message. What do you want to know?"
Right. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. Venture Spear, Alchemist Spear, is that what you prefer?
Yes.
Well, Erasmus extends his hand. I'm Friar Erasmus Nash. I'm sure you've heard of me.
Indeed, I have. And of your legacy.
My legacy? Yes, that's a good word for it. I wanted to speak to you about your position. I've noticed you're exceptionally young, are you not? Pardon for me mentioning it, but how did you come by this position?
Give me an insight check.
Okay.
Nepo baby. You got this.
Okay, 16.
You see a little bit of fear in their eyes. I am a talented alchemist. How did your mother acquire the position?
She performed wonders for this kingdom.
So I've heard.
Have you?
Nay, but since I've not retracted mine either.
I understand.
Tell me, the rumors say that you have surpassed your own mother in skills of alchemy. Is it true?
Those rumors. I could never match my mother. She returned water to the city. She healed hundreds, but I do have my own skills. I would like to say I have not surpassed my mother, but I have made my own way.
And you see, they reach into their belt, unclasp something, a little bottle, a tincture or something, sort of thin but honey golden colored. And they say, "Prove it then. Identify this. Tell me what it contains."
Erasmus takes it. Okay. I'm gonna try and Erasmus is going to try to identify it first. And then I might try something else, depending on how that goes.
How is Erasmus trying to identify this?
Taste.
Look.
Take it.
Can Erasmus take it and then say to Ventress, you're not trying to poison me, are you?
You would know if you could identify it.
Okay, then Erasmus is going to uncap it, bring it to his nose, and I'll try to identify from there, looking and smelling.
Incredible. Arcana, please.
Okay. Arcana. Okay. I'm rolling this in the cup. This is scary. This is my reputation. Please. Cup. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, 16. Woo! 16.
Erasmus, you have only smelled this once, when you were a very young child, when the country, when the kingdom was once looming on the threat of war, like it is now. And you remember your mother telling you never to repeat it, that it was dangerous, that you should even stay away from when she was brewing it. This is a potion of feeble-mindedness.
Oh.
A potion that destroys and corrodes the mind, lasting beyond the duration of the spell.
Which is itself an 8th level enchantment.
Yes.
Jesus.
It is very, very dangerous.
Erasmus smells it. These memories come back to him. His eyes widen. He pulls it away from his nose, like his hand almost shaking, that memory coming back. And then he composes himself. Why do?
Erasmus, give me one last insight check.
Okay.
You got it.
Can I use my passive? No, insight's different. Okay. Oh, that was really good. That was an 18 plus 7, so 25!
As you react, Ventress tries to cover it quickly, but you see it just for a moment. They don't know what that potion was.
Oh!
They are not an alchemist. They've been lying. They say,
Erasmus cap.
I simply wanted to test you. See if you are what they say.
Who are you? Who are you? Ventress Spear. Are you lying about that too?
I have skill at brewing, at concocting, but I have no magic of my own.
Why are you here? Do you know what this kind of deception can cost you? I was in this court, and they thought I didn't belong, and do you know what they did to me? You should get out of here.
Do you know what it means when someone has the last name Spear?
Do I?
You do. It's not a name you associate with often, but if someone is orphaned or is a bastard, they are given the last name of the kingdom, for they belong to no family.
Whoa.
You have nowhere to go.
Nowhere left.
Erasmus puts the potion of feeble mind.
And they grasp your shoulder, they say, I was paid to brew this. I was paid with information that I know cannot leave anyone else's lips. My own secrets. They told me the ingredients. They told me how to brew it, the instructions. I don't know what it is. I still don't know what it is. What? Please tell me.
Listen, Ventress.
And just as you're about to say, you hear the heavy footsteps of a man you have not talked with in some time.
Oh.
You see the Duke places a hand on Ventress's shoulder, firm, heavy, gloved, and he says, well, it certainly is a time for alchemists to be consorting, isn't it? But wouldn't you rather be at the party than lurking in the shadows, my friends?
Can I pocket the potion before he sees it? Or have I already been able to do that?
Sleight of hand.
Do I see this conversation happening?
You do. Now that the Duke has approached,
Okay.
a lot of people's eyes are drawn to the power he wields in the room.
Do I see Erasmus go to pocket the potion before?
We'll see.
19.
Then you do not.
Okay.
Really fast, I want to message Jules and say, You left Erasmus alone.
Not right now.
Zing.
Erasmus slips the potion away, looks at the Duke, doesn't bow,
Good.
and says, yes, we were just speaking about Ventress's position.
Oh. Well, Ventress's position is nothing that should concern you. What I believe you should be concerned about, and he looks at the head, the wrapped head, is perhaps the amount of reverence you are paying to our divinity. Is that your present?
This is my wedding gift, yeah.
I balk at what could be inside if its outers can be so horrendous.
Well, my apologies for your balking, but it is not your opinion that I'm concerned with. It is the princess's, and her soon to be.
Can I message the Duke?
Yes.
While I'm hearing this conversation happen, and say, against my better judgment, because I don't like interfering, but I have information regarding your condition we should discuss before the ceremony begins. Trying to get him away from us.
Erasmus, you immediately see the Duke's head like crack just on a turn so suddenly, and he flicks a dismissive hand at you and Ventress and immediately begins striding off towards the entrance where Sal is. And as all this happens, as you and Ventress are left alone, as the Duke approaches you, as the two of you begin to hear more about Russet's knowledge, that is when we begin to hear trumpets blaring, and the doors to the Great Hall swing open, and you see the princess steps forth, a bit of red in her face, a beautiful blue gown that goes to the floor. She has a bouquet of periwinkles in her hands, and a crown on her head. And she smiles and looks out and begins to step forward. The Duke makes eye contact with you, but moves to her side and offers her his elbow. And the two begin to walk to the center of the room where the high priest awaits. On the other side of the room, trumpets, slightly quieter, begin to blare, and doors, slightly smaller, open, and you see the fiancé, the ambassador Ambrose Maiskier, walk through, and he too strides to the middle of the room. And the two of them look at each other, sort of link hands a little bit, and the Duke steps a step away, and the priest steps forward and goes, "As today is another glorious and wondrous celebration, the rising of the sun, but yet too we celebrate something beyond, something more profound, that we are lucky, blessed itself to behold the coronation of a new queen. Before it begins, should anyone wish to speak prayers or despairs upon the happy couple?" And he looks across the party.
Erasmus says, like, okay, is the kind of vibe like Erasmus could be like a prayer for the happy couple?
Yes.
Something like that. Yeah. I think Erasmus says something like that, like a well wish to them as a friar.
The priest nods to you and he says, "Friar, if you would like to lead us in a prayer."
Of course. Erasmus stands, clasps his hands, and says, "Here today, I know that the saints are looking down upon us, and in their eyes is joy and excitement for the lives that will be changed here today, and the things we will do in their honor."
The priest interrupts you midway through the prayer, and he points at the wrapped head and he goes, My lord, what is that?"
Your divinity, I have not finished my prayer. Oh, my apologies. It's just so shoddily wrapped.
Really not a lot of time put into it at all.
Erasmus hastily takes it from his waist and places it under his seat, and then finishes the prayer and sits back down, a little mortified.
Incredible. So, the high priest goes, well, yes, of course. With all that done, we may begin the ceremony. And the Duke interrupts him. He steps to a small table nearby, holds up a pair of goblets to the happy couple and says, a toast to your health and the well-being of the kingdom, and offers it to the couple. You see the princess put out her hand to Ambrose, who has grabbed it and is about to drink it. She goes, Uncle, the couple is supposed to drink after the ceremony. The Duke, I'm sure Gaius does not mind. You see the high priest, actually, in this day and age, with the flouting of tradition of youth, Princess interrupts, Uncle, we will not drink until the ceremony is commenced. You feel the...
Now can I cast Detect Poison and Disease?
Now you can cast poison and disease.
I'm gonna try and do
pretty
it
obvious.
like I'm gonna get Annie to go to another goer and shock them into startling, and as the scream goes up, use that to disguise my material and somatic components.
You don't even have to do that because the air is so wrapped with tension between these two just staring at each other. And Aiden, I don't have to tell you.
I detect poison and disease.
You detect poison within those goblets.
I message Erasmus and I say the goblets are poisoned, and I do the same to doors as fast as I can.
The Duke steels himself, his features going to a polite neutral. He says, Niece, I will not ask once more. Drink and be merry.
Are you pressuring your future ruler to do something that she does not wish to do? That seems unholy.
The Duke reels around, and the princess speaks. And once more, uncle, will we say we shall not? And the Duke looks at you, casts a scowling glare your way.
I smile as big as I can at him.
Says, fine. I had hoped to do this in a more pleasant fashion. And he pulls something from his pocket, something fist-sized, a stone, inscribed with runes, and he whispers something wordlessly into it that you can't hear.
Is he casting a spell?
He is not casting a spell, although he's using a sending stone. He's using a magical artifact.
Knew it.
And he says, I hope you've enjoyed your reign, princess, for it's about to be at its end. And just as he finishes speaking, outside you hear a great cracking noise.
Oh no.
Then again, and it gets louder and louder as it approaches until you can make out the sound as enormous wing beats. Then there's a terrible blunt noise and the roof shakes above you. You can see small stones and bits of the rafters falling down as a dragon lands upon the castle.
Oh my god.
What?
You hear a great crashed out, echoing across the castle as outside people begin to scream in terror. You see fire alight outside the windows as the doors spread open and partygoers begin to flee out the doors. And outside doors, you can see a turtle chef in militant wear leading the charge as a dragon circles and circles above the castle. I would like each of you to roll initiative for me.
Doors, we did a coup.
Now go to you calamitous cur.
Erasmus, your dad
Sucks.
The worst.
Your dad is awful.
For sure.
That's what I've been saying.
Super bad.
So as the dragon spirals around the castle and partygoers flood out the doors, that is where we are going to leave it off for this time. This has been Hit Point Hall. I'm Magpie, and we will see you next time.
I was like,